Hey there, welcome to In the Spotlight with Kelly Sienkowski. Today we're shining the light on wildfires in Virginia. Joining me is Michael Downey, the Assistant Director for Wildfire Mitigation and Prevention with the Virginia Department of Forestry. Michael, thank you so much for talking to me this morning. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Absolutely. So let's tackle this because when most people hear the phrase Department of Forestry, I'm thinking Smokey the Bear and all the only you posters from like the 90s, 2000s. What does the department do on a daily basis?
So we wear multiple hats. The Department of Forestry does a lot of stewardship plans for landowners, homeowners. We have our BMP, best management practices for logging operations. So we do inspect streams and any kind of crossings that are involved with that. Um, we have um, We have our reforestation of timbers program that's been going on for over 50 years now. And so, along with all the day-to-day responsibilities of a forest technician or area forester, they also respond to wildfires. They're also doing controlled burning for landowners for wildlife habitat and reforestation projects such as our pine plantations.
That's a lot of different aspects of it. What I kind of wanted to dial in with today is the department recently put out a press release announcing that we in Virginia, we are now in fire season. What did that actually mean?
Yeah, so every spring from February 15th to the end of April is our 4 p.m. burn law. So because of the dormant vegetation, it is more acceptable to burning, higher degree of burning. And so it is hard to believe us saying that this time of year because of the most recent winter storm. But however, in areas of Virginia and throughout the Commonwealth, a lot of that snowpack did not get. Hold on, let me. I'll go back. A lot of areas didn't receive that snow packed, and so we are seeing some
Mhm.
significant fire activity already in January and this February, and mainly in grass, marshes, and you will see longer drying periods within the forested areas with the leaf litter and pine cast.
And some of that also probably is tied to this drought that we've had for, I think it's been a couple of years now, where we've had significantly lower precipitation levels throughout the year. So I'm imagining you're going to see drier forest and drier grassy areas just because of lack of water.
Yes, exactly. So a lot of those areas, yeah, have been continuously into this drought, and even before the winter storms, we were seeing significant fires throughout December, averaging 10 to 20 acres, and 10 to 20 fires a week through the month of December and right into January until that winter storm. So we will see after we get through these warmer days and rain, we will the ground will absorb a lot of this water, and you we will see a 108 we'll see a quick transition from this winter storm to uh, these drier conditions.
And that was one of the things in the press release. You just mentioned the fires in December. Already this year, we've had over 80. You told me just before we started talking that I think you said 96 as of this morning wildfires from January to today.
Correct.
So
Yes.
that's is that even it's not even 8 weeks, I don't think.
No, it's not. And again, this will delay the season, and and with the recent storms, brought down some debris. So once the snow melts, homeowners and landowners will then pick up those branches
Mhm.
and debris that came down. And 9 out of 10 wildfires in Virginia are human cost. So those are preventable. And we do continue to outreach to homeowners about the importance of burning even during this time of year because they do escape. And then there are structures and property and lives at risk. So we definitely want to make sure that our message is clear that even with this snow, that we still need to take precautions when debris burning.
And you mentioned that I think you said 90% are basically caused by humans. Is the most common cause just sort of uncontrolled or improper burning? Like they were deliberately setting yard debris or a
Yeah,
bonfire?
so there's voluntary and involuntary. There's during the spring we get a lot of fires in fields due to bush hogs, maybe sparking a rock. We get a lot of roadside fires due to tow chains that are dragging on the pavement, and that can spark a grass fire, especially in the medians. That's pretty common. And then we do definitely have in certain parts of the state. Arson fires in the southwest
Hmm.
part of the Virginia. So that does happen, and then obviously accidental. So that could be the debris burning.
So, I mean, you mentioned there's different parts here. Are we seeing a concentration of fires? Wildfires, do they tend to focus on a certain area or this is the whole Commonwealth?
The whole Commonwealth, but it definitely varies throughout the Commonwealth. We definitely see a lot more debris burning after 4 o'clock and
Hmm.
um, going on till midnight. We're seeing a vast change in land ownership. We're seeing more solar farms. We're seeing more rural development. And with that, there's more debris burning because it's cheaper to burn the debris and the trees that are coming down on these woodlots to put a home than to remove him. So we're seeing a lot of that. And with that comes spark, that comes smoke, and that also raises a lot of flags and concerns for neighboring communities. So again, messaging to uh, any homeowner that is moving from maybe the city that is moving more into a wildfire prone area to just be sure that they have a what we call defensible space or a home ignition zone. And that usually starts at your front door going out to about 300 feet. There's three different zones. And we always ask and suggest that if you have mulch, to substitute that with an static rock or stone. It's let you less to maintain every year. Instead of putting mulch down every year, you can just do a one installation and then you're done with it. Pruning
Hmm.
trees around your LP tanks, any kind of electrical around, making sure branches and things like that are taken care of. And also, we do have our hazard mitigation program for communities, organized communities that can be awarded funds for fuel reduction projects.
So it sounds like one of the most important things homeowners can do is keep their yard clear of that flammable material. So that's what you were saying with the barriers, like having rock near your house, less
Yes,
likely to catch on fire from a random spark.
right. Just regular mowing, leaf blowing, any kind of maintenance like that is going to be very helpful for protecting your home.
Is there something that you think people consistently misunderstand or don't really comprehend about how wildfires are starting? I mean, it's not, for example, it's not like we're in Montana where something happens and you have hundreds of thousands of acres, but we are seeing a significant amount of acreage catches fire here. What do you think people just don't realize about it happening here in Virginia?
Great question. I'm not sure. Definitely out west, there's more lightning caused fires. There's more of that alarm. Here in Virginia, for years, we continue to have wildfire, and the message maybe just not there. And I think it's definitely um, outreaching with local news like yourself and podcasts, and just continuing social media, getting the message out that we have and continue to have red flag days. And this is still a concern of ours that we're still continuing to prevent and mitigate. And we're still seeing damage from Helene in the
Hmm.
Southwest. So as those down trees and debris, they're going to continue to decay and dry out. And so
Oh.
that's what, 2 years now. So in areas where there's still damage from Helene, that's also a concern of ours for wildfire suppression.
Right, that
We're
makes
going
sense
to,
because after these kind of storms, when you're seeing all the down branches and things, people who just leave them there, you're just
yes,
setting up kindling. So that
right,
makes sense while you're still seeing it in the Southwest.
right.
How do you guys monitor these wildfires? I mean, are they all just somebody going, "Hey, 911, I see smoke in the woods." Do you have a system?
Oh, yeah, no, great question. Most of the time, it's a passerby or it is a homeowner that is calling 911 for an escape burn. That it could be that they have a burn barrel or a burn pile that escaped
Mhm.
and is approaching their shed or it's spreading. And they'll call 911. Most of the time, it is local fire departments that arrive, and then we get dispatched. Each county has an area forester and technician, and so they are in contact with those local municipalities. And
Mhm.
so we do have great working relationships with them. And if they need further assistance, we have our tractor transport units or dozer units. So if those are needed, we will use those. And we are trained. Our staff is professional and skilled at wildland fire. Uh, Department of Forestry, we are the lead agency for wildfire incidents, and we continue to be. And after the executive order 40 and that was passed in 2024, that's something that we are really proud of because in the past it's been kind of questionable. So now that's clear that we are the lead agency for wildland fire incidents. And we continue to have great partnerships with state and other federal agencies. And it's definitely a combined effort when it comes to these larger fires.
So you mentioned Executive Order 40. Is that
Correct.
essentially saying that in the event of a wildfire, you guys are going to be sort of the lead? And they will, then I would imagine it's kind of like when you see on TV, there's some crazy crime happens and FBI and the local police and they're all fighting over whose jurisdiction.
That's right.
That this
Yes,
is you guys are the wildfire people.
we are. Yes. And we definitely help not just with wildfire. We are the lead agency for wildland fire, but we also help with all incident, and we are trained for all hazard incidents.
Hmm.
For instance, the snowstorms. We deployed a few saw crews for that because we're trained in saws, and we have four-wheel drive vehicles and response vehicles, and we are quick to for a response. So we are quick to put together a task force that can assist with that can assist with VDOT and other state um, departments.
That makes sense. I do remember, I think it was probably 2 years ago in the summer. I know we had at least two, maybe three wildfires along 95 in Stafford County
Yeah,
or surrounding Stafford County, and it was insane. But I remember being impressed because one of the things that we covered, Potomac Local News wrote about it, and we were finding that probably you guys were sending in tractors and other things to, I guess, probably clear the way or
yeah,
mush it,
yep.
whatever you
Yeah,
do.
and we have, like I said, we have a great collaboration with federal folks, with our federal agencies. So if it comes to needing helicopter assistance, anything like that, we have a seat that's usually on contract that's a single engine air tanker to help with wildfire suppression. And our drone program has become a lot larger over the last few years. So I think now we have about 20 to 30 different drones. Three of those drones are what we call Ignis drones, and we can use those for control burning. We use those in areas that are difficult to get to do wildlife habitat or site preparation for pine plantations. And then we have a fleet of infrared drones for night use, night operations. So, um, and so yeah, we continue to be prepared. We have three incident management teams and a fourth for any kind of surge capacity when it comes to logistics, finance, and planning for these large instances. So,
That's
and
good.
we
And you
haven't
mentioned the controlled burning for wildlife habitat. Can you tell me a teeny tiny bit about that?
Yeah, yeah, we do a lot of control burning for wildlife habitat, and that could be an understory burn for quail habitat. That could be a grass burn for also quail and other songbirds, to help with wildflower pollinator type species,
Yeah.
and then we do a lot of the site preparation burns where we're converting hardwoods to the pine plantations, and that's pretty common in the central and eastern part of Virginia.
Hmm. And so if the landowner is interested in any kind of a large burning, they should definitely reach out to you guys, right, to get an idea of what we need to do for safety and control of a burning.
Yes. So our field staff can write a burn plan and help a landowner. It's a service that our agency provides for landowners and homeowners, and there are contractors that can help with that with those efforts as well. It's a joint effort. I'll speak for myself. I'm a forester and firefighter. I'm not a wildlife biologist. So usually DWR or any kind of wildlife professional will assist
Mhm.
with, and we work really well with those other departments to meet the goals and objectives of those homeowners and landowners.
That makes sense. So let's go back to that fire season. So why do we allow burning after 4 p.m. to midnight? What is that window more safer?
Yeah, so the reason for the 4 p.m. burn law is because before 4 o'clock, we're seeing lower relative humidities, higher temperatures, and drier vegetation. So, with all those and other factors involved, it doesn't take much for a fire to start and spread. So,
Sure.
after 4 o'clock, we begin to see those RHs increase and the temperatures drop. We also see kind of less drought
Mhm.
conditions, and so during when the sun goes down, those conditions are less likely, and so they are safer for debris burning. And so we just
That makes
recommend if you are burning, check the weather conditions, check to see if it is a red flag day. Make sure you have a charged water hose nearby, a hand tool, a shovel. Notify your county fire department that you will be doing a burn, and um, and make sure that you have um, it's make sure you have
sense.
good dirt around it, good an area where it won't escape, and be with it at all times. That's another thing that's really important. It really goes back to Smokey Bear's 5 rules of prevention.
Yeah. Smokey Bear, it's always got great advice.
That's right.
Well, so Michael, I really appreciate you kind of walking us through this because I know a lot of people have questions about it, and I think a lot of people, myself included, didn't realize how many wildfires we have here in Virginia. Really important information. So I want to remind
Absolutely.
our viewers and our listeners, fire season does exist. It's happening here. It goes from February to April. And then we also have one in the fall as well. What month's in the fall?
So we do have from October to November. That's what we consider our fall fire season. But we saw fires in December. We'll see fires in May and throughout the summer. So again, if the vegetation and and the weather predictions are there, fire can start anywhere and anytime. It's all fire. It's all weather based. And if the conditions are right, fire will burn. So, yeah, all I have to say is just continue to notify 911. That's your first call if you see an escape fire or see something that is of concern. My thing is if you see something, say something, call 911, and a professional um, will assess the situation, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So I still want to remind our viewers, if you have questions about fire safety, if you want to follow the fire conditions in Virginia, you can visit the Virginia Department of Forestry's website, which is dof.virginia.gov. There's lots of information on there, lots of updates, and lots of facts about wildfires and fire safety in Virginia. So Michael Downey with the Department of Forestry, thank you so much for stepping into the spotlight with me. And for all of our listeners, if there's anything else that you'd like to learn about or someone else you think I should talk to, send me a message and we'll talk to them. Mike, I hope you have a great day.
Kelly, you as well. Appreciate your time.